Hello everyone, it's Professor Zero and I'm back with, you could call it a weekly stream, back with a weekly stream news. So, sorry for uploading this video kind of a little bit late. I know it's been like a week or so. I have a lot of things occupied. I really didn't have much time to go and sit down and upload this, get updated with a lot of news and whatnot, because I'm busy with studies, busy hanging out with friends and whatnot. But yeah, and responsibilities, yada yada. But that aside, now that we have the news coming in, I think it's easier for me to breeze through some of the recent news that we got for the past 2 weeks and today as well. By the time you're watching this, because this will be including yesterday's Tuesday stream news. So I think it'll be easier for me to just breeze through some of these cards and try to give you my opinions and my analysis of some of the cards. But yeah, I guess I'll get straight into the news. So before we get straight into the news, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe and share my video. And if you're new and just stay back and just have a good time over here, and let me try to dissect everything at one go. So I'm not gonna waste any more time because I'm gonna expect this to be a very long video. So I'm just gonna have to breeze it in a very fast way. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more time blabbering. So let's get straight into the news itself. If my camera would not black out on me for this moment. Okay, now first card, it's basically card of the day, but I just also want to highlight how important this card is supposed to be. So we have Wildfire of Invasion. This is a Blitz Order and Calamity card, which means that you can search for this Blitz Order with the great 1, 2, 3 Calamity cards that we got for DBT08 and DBT09, so you will be able to find this. But this is actually quite a good card because it allows you, you choose one of your rear guards. You can only play this with a Hydrogram Vanguard, so this is only exclusive for Griffo support. So you choose one of your rear guard circle without a Dragon Tree marker. You put a Dragon Tree marker on that circle, choose one of your units being attacked, and it gets plus 10k until the end of the battle. If you have a Vanguard with Griffo and its card name, it gets 20k instead of 10k. So Griffo is going to get a lot more defensive this time round, and the best thing about this card is that you get an extra additional Dragon Tree marker for free, which is kind of nice. So yes, this is actually a good card, and that's about it. So we are going to the Tuesday stream. We have a Rideline support. We have the Desired Devil Sasho. So continuous deck. If you have a Vanguard with Rideline in its card name, this card may be counted as having the same card name as all of your cards in your soul with Desired Devil in their card names. That's the first. The second one is also a continuous skill. So it's a rare card it's a rare card, but it does a lot of things. So in continuous rear guard Guardian Circle, if there are 3 or more cards with Desire Devil in its card name in your soul, this unit gets 5k power and 5k shield, which is also active on your opponent's turn, so he gets a 10k shield and 15k base as well, defensive. For me, this is a very good card, but then again, Rideline, as with many other Dark States cards at this point, they have a lot of combos and whatnot, and I think this is very good because some people actually told me that you can copy Boshaku's name, that you can actually try to increases the amount of the power inside the soul and whatnot. But other than that, I think this is kind of quite good in as well for Ridon's new skill, Ridon Masker's skill. So we'll get into it later on. So I think that's kind of nice. And then we have Chunky Stroller. This is a ghost card from Dark States as well. This is when this unit is placed on rear guard, auto. If you have a Vanguard with Rideline in its card name, you soul +1, you choose 1 card with Desire Devil in its card name into your drop, put it into your soul, and this unit gets 5k at the end of turn. Now, I don't think this is actually a good card because first things for sure, it's not a Desire Devil, but I don't think that this card is actually quite playable in most circumstances. So I think it's not a very it's not an instant fall off once I heard of the skill, so I think people can just skip it. I skipped the skill, so I think that's about it lah. So not much you can do about it with this card. But then again, with that aside, we're gonna get straight into the soul charge, the counter charges and the soul heal triggers. The counter charges and the soul charges. Heals will be erupted for the new will become 10k power and 15k base. So if you guys remember during the G era times, G era players, so this is the cards that are actually like quite viable. They're very popular back then in the days. If like you want to counter charge and or when you G guard and you counter charge, also charge. So quite nice. And now we are getting to go into the new Gridon Masker skill. So we have this Gridon Masker is like kind of like very weird art, but it has a very good skill, and I'm going to tell you why. So the first skill is that you can only grade write this card with Gridon, with a grade 3 card with a Gridon its card name. That is obvious. But the best thing about this card is that you lose this card as long as this card is your main Vanguard, which means that you don't need a Gridon in your soul to lose. So by the time you write this, you become 7 damage to lose without needing another Gridon into your soul, which is like the previous Gridon's ability, the must-have. Because if you do not have another Gridon in your soul, then yes, then that's you can't win. You can't lose with 7 damage. You have to lose with 6. But this one just bypass all that. I think that's actually quite nice. And then the third skill is that the act phase once per turn, you choose one Gridon with a different card name from this unit from your hand, soul, or draw. Remove it. You look at the top 7 cards of your deck and find one desired level and reveal it and put to your hand. So if you bind it from the soul, you bind it from the draw, like remove it. It's technically not bind, because bind you have a special zone, but removing is especially different part of it. Then you can allow to add one desired level into your hand. So which is quite good in itself, because I felt like you can this is technically a +1 to your hand. You can also able to call out. You can also actually use it to hold the rear guards and whatnot. So I think it's quite good for Gridon. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's actually quite good. And the last skill, auto once per turn, at the end of the battle that this unit attack if you have 3 or more desired levels in your soul, and put 3 standing rear guards into your soul, and this unit restands plus power plus 5k. Now this is how this is going to be completely different from how old Gridon is supposed to be. Old Gridon, because the old Gridon needs 10k cards, 10 cards in your soul in order for it to pump into 15k. This one doesn't get the power buff that he needs, which means that he loses a part of himself, called a part of himself, and it's only once per turn, so you are not able to restand him for the second time. Because this is supposed to be a once per turn. Granted, this is granted this is not as good as old Gridon in terms of restanding and drive checks and power ups and whatnot. But this is actually kind of good enough to fill the hand size and putting in 3 rear guards into your soul. Kind of gives you a lot of opportunities to attack more, because 4 standing rear guards, which includes on your front row 1 additional rear guards, that the rear guards go in front, which means that you can only get embark to attack 3 or 4 times, 3 times if you can make it without the restanding. But this one you can attack for 4 times already for this Gridon skill, so it's technically quite good. A card in itself, so I have no complaints about it. I think this is actually a good buff for Gridon, even though he doesn't, even though he isn't able to withstand for the second time, which old Gridon can do last time. And shoving in 3 rear guards is a huge advantage instead of shoving in 4, thereby reducing one of your rear guard attacks. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, quite nice. Okay, now this is going to be a very mouthful because we are going into premium territory. Premium territory, it was kind of wacky because Vanguard 0 essentially just died so that premium could run so efficiently, and thereby we're going to introduce one of the longest card to go through with, which is Harmonix Messiah, reprinted as premium card. In this is, look at the wall of text that Harmonix Messiah is gonna get, right? Look at that thing, you know. So I'm not gonna like brush, like not gonna like nitpick on the details too much, but let's get straight into it. Harmonix Messiah is a create elemental card, and it's also a Messiah, so okay. You play this Link Joker, right? I don't know. Okay, continuous, you may only have one Harmonix G unit in the G deck, a G unit in the G deck. Okay, then after that is the strike one, okay, whatever, blah blah blah. When this unit is placed on Vanguard circle, choose any number of your lock cards, unlock them, and choose the same number of your cards from your hand as the number of cards that are unlocked by this card effect in this card turn. So when this unit is placed on Vanguard, if let's say you have 3 lock cards, then you can unlock as many of them, then you discard 3. Technically speaking, if judging by the wording of how it's supposed to be, if you can unlock 5, if you have like 3 or less, I think you can discard everything and you still can like able to like discard like discard all 3 without like the last, like paying it for the last cost. I think it's actually how it's supposed to be, but if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. I think that is how the wording and affects the wording. In fact, you have like unlock first, then you discard how many. So I think that's how it goes. Alright, so auto Vanguard and G-Zone, which is kind of good when this unit is placed on Vanguard circle or at the beginning of your turn. If this card is face up, your damage zone has 2 or less cards, and no new card was put into your damage zone during your opponent's last turn, preceding turn. Put the top card of your deck into your damage zone and draw 1 card. So basically, it's Vanguard Zero's version of Harmonix Messiah. So it's okay, it's kind of good. So you deal yourself 1 damage, and at least get to draw 1. So okay lah, can lah. Alright, so G-Zone, when your grade 1 unit is placed by writing grade 0, if you went second, cause you reveal this card and put a Guardian Shield ticket into your hand. So this is kind of like super cool, because I'm gonna get straight into what Guardian Shield ticket is supposed to be. Now, okay, I think if I'm not wrong, because in the V era series, because if the V era starters, if you went second, you're able to create a quick shield. If your opponent is like, if you went second, then you draw 1. And then because Harmonix Messiah allows you to give you a Guardian ticket also if you're going second, that means that you have an advantage, like high advantage in defenses. What does this mean? So let's get straight into what is Guardian ticket. A Guardian shield is basically a Blitz order with a 20k shield. So this is basically quick shield plus, but with a plus 20k. So if I'm not mistaken, if you write over the grade 1, the normal grade, if you write the grade 1 over the V era starters, and if you go second, you get to have 1 quick shield and also a Guardian ticket if you review this card, right, in the G-Zone, if Harmonix in the G-Zone. So I think this actually gives the second player a lot of future advantage as well, so that they don't get rushed to death, and something along those lines. But yeah, I think it's kind of good. Alright, so that's that, and then you have the and that's how it's supposed to be. And now we have the next Ridelines and for next Tuesday, and then all the heal triggers getting the buff, so it's quite nice. I like it. Alright, so let's get into Thursday. Thursday one is the very interesting one because we get Roroa. So, but before that, we get into some of the generic cards that they might come out soon. So, Hallucinatory Morpho is an insect. So, we are seeing the rise of Stoichia, ladies and gentlemen. In this unit attacks, rear guard auto. If there's a Blitz order in your drop, I think it doesn't have to be like like your normal Blitz orders. The Elementum Centaria, if that is also a Blitz order in your drop zone, you soul +1 and this unit plus 10k until the end of battle. So she's a 20k attacker. So at the end of the battle that this unit attacked the Vanguard, you counter +1, find this unit, search your deck for up to 2 grade 2 or greater Blitz order without the Regalis piece, so they can bypass the so they kind of like restrict the Regalis piece so that even like super PS like super OP in this defenses or in your defenses grade 2 or greater Blitz order, which means that you can't find your Blitz like the Elementarius and Elemental Centarium or something like that. reveal it and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. If there's a blitz order in your drop, you may search a normal order instead of a blitz order. So it's kind of like nice, because if your drop zone has a blitz order, you look for the normal order instead. So the normal order can be like anything you get in Stoic Kia, perhaps. I'm not sure if Blue Storm Armada, for example, they need it or not. What other like normal? No, Blue Storm Armada is a set order, correction. Normal orders, probably something like Warp Intelligence, or you can use this in Zorga, I guess, because you can, filter through your deck for some of your pieces for the normal order, in case you feel the Alka Magic like strings were quite nice. This is also like the beginning of the triple rare cycle card, which will also revolve around orders. So she would be, well, this card will be the beginning of how some of you will get this in the same cards, such as in Dragon Empire, Keter, and etc. Everything is gonna get this and something like this. Okay, now we have Affectionate Hunter Matthias. So Matthias is kind of weird. So when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, if you have a breakthrough ability with Rorowa in its card name, you Soul Blast 1, retire 2 of your rearguards and choose one grade 2 or less card in your drop zone and call it your rearguard, which is kind of cool, because basically you can retire 2 of your card tokens and you can just call back Rideline. So it is a good card in a sense. It's a double rare, so right. But the second skill is when this front row rearguard circle, at the start of your battle phase, if you have a unit with Rorowa in its card name and a Rideline in its card name, you can call up the 1 plant token to rearguard circle. So it's I think it's kind of like good as well. I mean, it is good. So not only you are able to, like, if you, let's say for example, you don't have enough soul to, like, say, to fill in your like Rorowa, for example, during your main phase to call Rorowa, to call 3 plant tokens with Rorowa skill, at least this helps you to fill in like 1 of your extra plant tokens into your rearguard. So this is kind of nice. With Rideline and front row rearguard as well. So he has to be like so you have, like, in the situation is that you have him in the front row rearguard circle, and then you have Rideline, you have Omoken token, and then you get to call another additional 5k plant token. So I think it's actually quite good. So it's not that bad. So actually I think this will be a staple card for Rorowa in the future. So because of how good it is supposed to be. So you should just like Soul Blast 1 for Rorowa skill, call 3 plant tokens, then you call him, then you retire 2 plant tokens, then you can call Rideline. So it's kind of good. I like it. So that's about it. So the last card, technically not the last card, we have like 3 more to go. Bureaucrat Stinger is an insect. During your turn, if there are 2 or more blitz orders in your drop, this unit gets 5k continuous. This is during your turn, by the way. When this unit is placed on rearguard, you counter +1, you search your deck or draw for up to 1 Sweet Honey Garden, reveal it and add to your hand, and if you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So it's part of the cycle of the double cycle cards as well for the double rarity, which seems to revolve around the rare order card, which is the Sweet Honey Garden. So we're gonna get 3 into it. Quite good. Looking for orders like that is okay, I guess. Now Sweet Honey Garden, this will be also be the rare orders, which will be the cycle series, cycle part series, which you're going to see in like rare and whatnot. So it's a blitz order. Okay, technically this is the blitz order that you're going to look for. You play this card with Soul Blast 1, you choose one of your units and hit plus 15k at the end of battle. If there's another blitz in order, you drop on it plus 25k instead of 15k. So quite defensive, very strong, quite good, very good. Okay, now we're getting into Rorowa. So we have a very decent flash Rorowa. I think it's I read his Japanese name is like his Japanese translation is like Ryokoryu Isen Rorowa. So when this unit is placed by riding on for the old Rorowa for 1 special sting Rorowa, which is the old grade 3 Rorowa, you count up to 2 plant tokens to rearguard circle. Quite good. And those unit gets when this unit is retired from rearguard circle, draw 1 card. So Rorowa is gonna get better because until the end of your opponent's next turn, and you activate Persona, right? Okay, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna explain how this card's good in a short while after I explain the second skill. When this unit attacks, you cause buying one precious thing Roroa from your soul. Choose one of your rear guards with glitter, so Radilinias, and until end of turn, that unit and this unit gets 5k plus 1 crit. At the end of the turn, you write the bound card for this cost as rest, so it's super good as well. So it is a glitter card because this is the new Roroa. Okay, I'm gonna explain why this card is why Roroa is quite good, for several reasons. Because number one, you are able to like technically do like a mask, what you call it, the maskers, and it's like same with Tegria. It's basically the quote unquote the mask ruling of like riding the same name, riding the same name and allowing for the persona right thingy. So it's the same thing as well over here. And the best part about this is that the clan tokens that you call for this turn, and every time it gets retired, you're able to like draw one card. You're able to draw one card, which is kind of good, because I think until the end of your opponent's next turn, which also kind of like applies to, let's say for example, if Roroa, the old Grey Street Roroa requires it for it to be defensive, so to like to retire one of your clan tokens and give Roroa plus 5k until the end of battle, which means that if you have like around like 2 or 3, like 2 on standby, and then let's say for example opponent is swinging you for like what's the good number for it? Okay, let's say 18k against a 15k, like a 13k Roroa. So in order for it to guard, so Roroa needs to like kill 2 clan tokens. But the best part about it is that he is able to draw as well. So that's kind of like really good. Your opponent, I think, and it's also like kind of nice is that even if you don't use it for the Roroa's defense skill, you can in case of situations where your clan tokens are retired, you are still able to buy like card effects, like Gandiva for example, like I don't know, like Eugene for example, Baba Sagra for example. You get able to draw one card, so it's like super good for like Roroa to like buff up his hand size. So kind of good. Yeah, and that's about it. And then the best part is that you are like Roroa is able to like plus 5k, Rideline plus 5k, and then plus Roroa gets 1 crit. And the part of where you bind the old Grey Street Roroa and then rewrite it at the end of the turn, which means that you can able to have this, you were able to write this new Roroa consistently. So that is kind of like really very nice. So I've heard from my friends that if you it doesn't really, the personal rights just really don't stand, because you really have to write this new card on top of the old Roroa. So there is no way you can try to like write on this new Roroa by any other chance outside from your like after your right phase. So I think that's how it's supposed to go. So okay, quite good. So this is a very good Roroa. I'm kind of happy with it, Okay, so after that, the Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion will be next Thursday, this Thursday, right? But I want to talk about this stupid card. Oh my god. Okay. Time Space Giant Soldier of Brilliant Fire. It's a Dark State and a Colossus skill. I just want to highlight this card of ability because it's very stupid, right? And this card is placed on rearguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard. You counterblast 1, draw 1, and this unit plus 5k until the end of turn. So 15k attacker, you get to draw 1. And then skill second, when this unit attack hits a Vanguard, if you have a grade 4 or greater Vanguard, you can counter charge 1. Okay. I know some of you are like probably like screaming and shouting, this is gonna be like very useful for Chrono Jack. That's one part. You can also use it for Bruce, but you can also use it for Griffon Kira as well, for the grade 10 Dragon Tree guy. So you can technically CC with some of the grade 4 grade 4 greater cards that I mentioned just now. But the best thing about the first skill is that you can play this in the Dragon Tree, because like I think if you call Demon's Trader, you can able to soul blast it and then you can activate its skill. If you play this in Lucia can also able to counter last one and draw 1 plus 5k. But then again, the problem with this card putting it into Lucia is that you need to have a lot of soul blast as well. So it's more very beneficial to put it in cards like Griffo, which you are able to maximize the full potential of this card. You can also play this in Barrel Magnus because you're able to call it out from the soul, as well. You can call it out from like what, Tamayura? No, Tamayura is different. Tamayura is different because this is a Darkseid. This is not a Dragon Empire. Sorry, I misspoke. What other cards that you can actually try to call out from Darkseid? I can only think of Barrel Magnus as play at the moment. So Chaos is good unless you play the Order, I guess. By placability of your Vanguard, I think if you use Chaos skill to like look top 3 and call 1, whether I think I actually can activate the skill as well. But then again, I'm not sure if Chaos gonna use a lot of Counter Blast, and well, Chaos technically needs the hand, so and the power, so quite good. It's a very good card. Whether or not I want to just play this in Chrono Jet is yet to be seen, because I felt like it's so weird. Because I have to play this during my Great Fortune, like next to Traffic Rider, and that's about it. So, okay, it's not a bad card. It's just that I'm not sure if it's very wise to play it in Chrono Jet, but we can see. Right, okay, so we're going to go into today's Tuesday stream, which I would dub this Rideline as the Sus Man. Alright, so we have Silhouette Man. This is Sus, as you can see with the art. Okay, so if you're being rolled, also when rolled upon, if you went second for what? Astronaut is an astronaut. It's Sus. It's basically the Sus Rideline, right? So Silhouette Man, I call you the Sus Man, alright? So here and now, okay. So we have Garter Silhouette. In this unit is placed by riding on Sus Man. You search your deck for up to 1 Machinery Factory, which is a new set order. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Alright, so that's a great one. Astronaut, whatever, Susman, like amogus, Rideline. Alright, so we have the factory order. So this is a great one set order. Act in the order zone, main phase. You use this card in the main phase. You rest this card, you look top 7. You choose 1 card from a mounted that has armed arms, which I'm going to explain what that's supposed to be. In the card name, reveal it, add it to your hand if you have the card with the same name in the drop zone. So you know that this card you have the drops, like they have to be in the drop zone, then you can put it into your hand and discard it if you do not. If you add it to your hand, you put this card into your soul. So it fills your soul and it's quite it is able to like add it to your hand if you like +1 technically speaking. And also like you can just try to like discard it, and if you do not wish, I'm gonna explain to you the reasons why you do that. So the second also is also an act phase, second skill act phase. Or if you have a grade 3 or greater with Silhouette in this card name, you put this card into your soul, you choose up to 2 cards with armed arms in different card names from your drop zone and call them to empty rear guards. So it bounces back like your rear guards as well. Kind of something like the grade 1 of the grade 1 ever order. But it's like the grade 1 order was meant to like bounce off skill deck from your drop zone to your hand, whereas this one was meant to be bounced into your rear guard circle, which has some of the specific effects, and I will explain the reasons why. Now, and this made me laugh a lot when I see this card like revealed, because my first impression of this card was like, are they going to bring the Exodia, because we have actually armed arms right and you have armed arms left. So we are going like, you can see if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player and you're seeing this and you're saying and everyone was thinking about, is this Exodia 2.0? Okay, I can guarantee you this will not be Exodia 2.0. So the skill is that I'm gonna straight into the skill. BS aside, BS friend aside. Okay, so auto Vanguard and Rearguard. Which is kind of good. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Silhouette in its card name, you counter blast 1, you choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rearguards, retire it, and this unit gets plus 5k until the end of battle. 15k retiring is always good for for this deck itself. So you don't see a lot of Brand decks that can actually like retire besides the hero one, which is on place counter blast 1, retires in column. This is actually good for like well, this is actually kind of like good for this Rideline as well. But then of course you can only have grade 3 silhouette Sussman in the deck as your main Vanguard. So this is the right one, and then you have the left one. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with silhouette in counter plus 1 draw 1. And it's not once per turn, right? You counter plus, and it's not once per turn. So there is a reason why, which we're gonna get into the whole shenanigans behind the whole thingy. Okay, now we have Scissor Silhouette. This will be the grade 2 when this unit has been rolled upon by Giga Arms Silhouette. This is the one for the Rideline. Okay, for the Rideline. This choose up to 2 cards with arms in a different card names from drop zone according to empty rear cards. So this is technically kind of like very nice as well, because not only you're able to call 2, the fact that you can able to bounce like like 2 different rear guards names from like your drop zone means that early on in the game you can discard like 1 arm and 1 right arm during your like say discard phase for like if you want to discard it for your Rideline. So technically a good card for this one. So yeah, it's kind of like toolboxy as well. So it's good. Which also ensures you to have like an early rush. If you go first, like if you go first, you write your grade 3, then you call the grade 2 grade 2s, and then you get rush. But this is going to be very funny, because what we have here is that we are seeing Sussman in all of its glory. This is Giganto Arms Silhouette, Gigant Arms Sussman, alright? Gigant Arms Sussman, alright? That's how I call it. Okay, so auto Vanguard once per turn. At the start of your attack step, not battle phase, attack step, choose Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 of your rear guards with arms in their different card names, attach them to this unit. The attached units are moved to the Vanguard as stand. They cannot attack. Their powers abilities are given to the unit they are attached to, and they are moved to rearguard circle as rest at the end of the turn. Technically, what they're speaking, this is Baba Sagra at home. Mom, can we have Baba Sagra? Mom says we have Baba Sagra at home. This is it. This is the card that we have. So 10k, the 13k base. You have the 10k right arm, you have the 10k left arm, you like PPAP, pen, pineapple, pen together, just like stack it together. You have 33k attacker for this unit. So this is technically budget power hardware, if I would say it. The powers to it. Trigger effect also applies to this one, because if you drive check, right? If you drive check your trigger, the power also able to apply to those arms as well. So power buff to both of them, if I'm not mistaken, right? At the end of the battle, where this unit attack, choose up to 1 of the units attached to this unit and move it to the empty rearguard as stand. The moved unit is no longer attached. So at the end of the battle where this unit attack, you choose up to 1 of the units attached to this unit and move it to the empty rearguard as a stand. So you are able to attack 3 times at the end of turn, 3 times in this one turn. So by beginning of attack step, so you just slap 2 on the on the back row. Technically, what I've gathered from the playstyles and the strategies behind this deck is that you put 2 of the arms behind in the back row, then you start your battles like your attack step, you move it to the front, then you attack, then you have like more room for your your front row rear guards to like attack twice, and then you attack 3 times, so 3 times attack. But if you cannot do that, this is where it's supposed to come in, because you choose up to 1 of the units attached to this unit to an empty rearguard circle, which means that you cannot spam it to like the rearguard circle with a unit onto it. So this is technically not a 4 attack battle, like 4 battle attacking deck, but nonetheless, it allows you to like attack with the power in if you assign the power into it. So that's about it. So 20k, if like say you get a trigger and you power it to the left, for example, and then end of battle you call it to one of the empty rearguard circles, you still attack you for 20. Right, so it's kind of nice. I think it's kind of good as well. So yeah, that's about it. And then we have bustling mechanic Rodney. Rearguard circle, front gate. If you have a Vanguard attached this turn, this unit plus 10k. This is like very big, and I think this is a double rare. Okay, this is a double rare. Back row Rearguard, at the end of the battle where your Vanguard with silhouette in its card name attack or grade 3 opponent's greater opponent's Vanguard. If you have no Rearguards in your front row, Soul Blast 1 and stand this unit, which is yikes, which is kind of super good, because you can technically use this for something else. I think if you're finished boosting, I think if you like finish boosting, you're able to stand it, but I'm not sure how good this would be. Like say, attacking. I think you can do like 5 in a second. No, but I think it's because it's at the beginning of attack step, so it's actually good for like this Rideline. So I think for now, what I can gather from the information was that you're able to like stand it when by the time you're like end of the battle, which you're greater. I think you can able to like say you want to boost first, then you want to like restand it, then you can boost again. I think that's how the card works. But yeah, okay, that's actually quite good. Okay, now the Q&As. For some of you that might be very confused about how the ruling goes. The attached keyword. If I perform Persona right this turn and attach the armed cards, what will Gigan Up's power be? What will be the Suspense power be? The arms are the Vanguard circle, so their power increase due to Persona right. In this case, 63k. So 13k, Persona right 23. So you have the attached power 20 will be a 63. So this is super scary. Like I said, all effects triggers will be powering on there. So can you increase the power of the attached arm armor with trigger effects? And in this case, what happens to the power of Suspend? Yes, you can. Suspend's power will also give the same power. When an arm cards that has its power increase is moved from the Vanguard and Rearguard circle, what happens to the power? Since it's the same unit, power increase will still be applied. That's what I said earlier. Trigger effects. If you right check, you power to this Gigan arms, one of the arms, it will be consistently becomes 20k. Then you call it out, it will also be 20k. So this is very scary deck because of the huge power. Like it's an easy deck budget power somewhere, but it's quite good, right? So that's about it, folks. Next week, Tuesday stream, Chaos, as well as model cards and cycle cards for Dark States. I think that's about it for this week's, technically last week's stream as well. Alright, so concluding remarks for this entire stream. I am very impressed with Predon's Muskers. I'm very happy with Borrowa. It's just that Silhouette Man, Susman is like, it's okay for the power-ups, it's okay for the buffs. I don't think that it's quite a I think it's basically what I call it, a power-up buffing deck. It's kind of reminds me of like Zanbaku left arrested and right arrested arms. If you do remember, those times. I think Sussman's card is still good nonetheless. I think the power-ups will be quite nice. This and that, but I think it's a little bit underwhelming for like into that regard. So I'm not sure like how stronger it will get. But personally speaking, I really wanted to rate the Suspense skill as in like 5 out of 10, I guess. Good in its own way, but also kind of like bad in its own way. Rorowa is a 10 out of 10, so kind of like super good because Rorowa needs like a lot of hand size and defense and whatnot. Redon Masters is kind of nice, although a bit, I think I would rate Masters like 8 out of 10, but then again, for all of the trade-offs that it could get, it's actually quite good enough. Maybe 8.5, maybe 9. Maybe it's because I think if you make it not once per turn for the restand, you will restand another time, which will be super OP by then, so I can understand the restriction why they want to make it into like one pattern for Breedon. But yeah, that's about it. I think I will end this video right here right now. So if you do enjoy watching this and like listening to my ramblings, like my analysis of sorts, do watch this. I'm once again asking you for your like, subscribes and shares, and without rambling for so long, I'm gonna end this video right here right now. So I'll see you guys next time. This has been Professor 95 signing.